yeah, sleep studies, I would not recommend if you're just like, hey, maybe I have this, but like they're not fun. I thought it was gonna be like you go there, you like sleep, it wouldn't be so invasive. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, they didn't prick me with anything,
Yeah.
but like all the glue, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't even understand how you could sleep in those environments. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I had so much glue and like um wires hanging off me, and then they're like, okay, go to sleep now. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? It was so funny too, because the guy was like, I'll wake you up at 5:30 in the morning to like leave, right? And I was like, hey, can you buzz me and just like talk to me through the intercom instead of coming in? Because usually they come in like gently wake you, right? And he's like, oh, why? And I was like, I might kick you. You know, I'm just because that actually happened a few times where like I'd be freaked out waking up and like get ready to kick someone, you know,
Right.
just because of the training.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I didn't want that to happen to the guy. But I woke up at like 1 in the morning, and I almost tapped out because I was like, I can't do this. You're just so sweaty with like the wires and like itchy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I asked him like, hey, do I have to stay for the full study? And he's like, yeah, or else you have to sign a paper and basically void the study. And I
Mm.
was like, oh, I only got like 3 hours left, you know? And yeah,
But
he
I
kind of like
wonder,
made
like
fun of
that
me, you
itself
know?
is like that is a bit. I don't want to say invasive, but that being in the study and you're going through that is you're still not having a normal sleep. You still wouldn't have a
Yeah,
normal
totally.
sleep, right?
Yeah, facts are facts. I guess they just want to see like that, but that's why I asked you like, is it in them? I asked them, is it like enough to just be here for like the
Mm-hmm.
duration I was already here? Because I already fell asleep. I just woke up again, and I'm like, it's gonna be hard to go back to sleep, you know? And he's just like, no, it has to be for like 6 hours. Even if I'm awake for the 6 hours, like I have to be there technically for a full 6 hours, which is like, yeah, that's some weirdness. And it's like not even, I don't know. It's just like they're watching you throughout the whole night, so you're like extra aware of that. You can
Yeah,
hear
that's another
people.
thing.
It
Yeah,
seems they
yeah,
have
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
so weird. Yeah, unless you like really suspect it, like don't even just do that for fun. Like, I would not recommend. It's not cool. Um, but yeah, I was thinking like since it's almost New Year's, like 2024, I would just start tackling like health issues. So like that's why I got the blood test and like sleep apnea and stuff. I went to a chiropractor recently, and it's funny because like you hear, especially if you listen to Joe Rogan, he like craps on chiropractors a lot. And like from sitting, I think I complained about it like last week, like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
sitting. I
yeah,
was like, oh, does the does your back hurt from sitting? And you're like, no, I actually stand or whatever. Um, and I went to her, and I was kind of like incredulous, like, oh, what are you really gonna do with like a push, bro? Like,
yeah.
what's this
Mm-hmm.
really gonna do? But she's like a weightlifter, so I trusted her more because she's like sports based, and she like just kept rattling off information. She's like, I'm a very chatty. She owns the clinic, and she's like, I'm a
Right.
very chatty chiropractor because like I feel like if you know what we're doing, it'll make the treatment better. Whereas like if you don't know what I'm
Mm.
doing, your body's gonna resist, you know, what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
right,
do to you.
right.
It makes sense. And she was saying that like, so I was explaining the thing, and then she was like feeling the area, and then she's like, oh, I could feel that knot thing, and I was like, that's interesting. So my back was like weak, right? I was like, oh, dude, this is like killing me.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, all right, I'm just gonna like massage the area to like relax the muscle, and then I'm gonna push. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh, is this gonna hurt? Like like pretty
Sure.
nervous
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff. And then I swear she went like pop, and I sat up, and I was like, oh, it's gone. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, what just happened? And then she's like, yeah, the only problem is like the next 2 or 3 days, it might remember how it was in that position, so it'll revert back, but we're hoping it won't. And then like, I'll see you next week, ask how you feel. And yeah, it's like, it hasn't come back
Mm-hmm.
since then. But how weird is that? It's just like these little things that you don't think about that are actually aiding or like either helping you or harming you with your health, you know? Like with the caffeine. Remember I was like drinking all those
Yeah.
espressos, and then I had the crazy high blood
Sure.
pressure, and then I was like, we just cut that out, it's gone, you know? Or like the binge eating,
Mm-hmm.
gone, the
Yeah.
high blood pressure, and like this one little push, you're like, how did that work? You know?
I think there was a normal process to go to like getting massages. Like this should be part of
Yeah.
your our routine, I think. Then
But like it's so weird though. You're like, how is this going to help? You know? Like, doesn't it seem weird to you that this one person is just gonna push on your back?
Mm-hmm.
And basically what she said though, like it made sense. That's why I really like I'm gonna keep going back to her for like all my sports related injuries. Basically what she said was um your your body is in alignment usually, but it like slips out of alignment, and what we do when we push is we push it back to alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, right? But like I don't know, what did you do back in like the you know ancient Roman times
I think they
when
probably
you didn't
had
have
they had things like this. I think they had things like
you think
this.
so, eh?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think like all the practices may necessarily have worked, but I'm sure some of the things within the practice would have worked, right?
Right, like witch doctory kind of
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I really want to try. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it just reminds me of like the cars need to go to a mechanic all the time. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, no, facts are facts. That's how I tried to look at it because like I'm like naturally health averse. Even when I went in, I was like, because she knows Tara, and then she like
Mhm.
she read, oh, you're like Tara's husband. Oh, okay. Like, and she expected me to kind of be like Tara, but I was like, I'm very scared. Like every I was like, hey, I don't like any of this health stuff. So like walk me through
Yeah.
this, whatever. And yeah, it's like the only way I can make it click in my mind to like go after these health procedures be like, your body's a car. We need to just check the oil.
Mhm.
So like that's what the blood test was like. Let's just see what's going on.
Yeah.
But like we don't think about our bodies as a vehicle. Like, do you think most people even think about their bodies at all? That's a weird question. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I think only generally when there's an issue.
Right, yeah, and you're like, how do I fix this? But like on the whole, most people just think of it like a pleasure machine, I would say. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah, sure. It's
Right,
just
because it's
going.
like
You're just experiencing when the mind. Yeah. And
right, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is like, oh, this food's gonna be good. This movie's gonna be good.
Right, right.
We don't think about like I need a tune up for my vehicle. You remember Gundam Wing,
Mm-hmm.
like the movie, the anime, and like they're in these mech suits.
Yeah.
I've tried to like make that weird shift in my mind to be like, I'm driving in a mech suit. Like what do we need to do to make sure that this mech is working
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
right? And if we don't, I think if we like don't think of it in that way, you like run the risk of, I don't know, like waking up and you're like, oh, I'm like super sick or something.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
I guess that jumps into like the whole my life is a video game kind of thing because I'm like thinking of it like, oh, this is the avatar that I'm like walking around in. I need some sort of like, but that's also why I'm like so into like numbing cream and like tech stuff like that. Anything that'll like alleviate it. Because like why was this invented in the first place? If not, because like, all right, I hate needles, right? So I use the numbing cream, and then like my family and my cousins were like, oh, why do you need that stuff, right? But it's like, but it was invented literally to ease
Yeah.
the pain of the thing, so why not use it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But we have this like, I don't know, macho bravado about health in that way. Do you find that too? Like I guess if you don't need it, like it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But if the psychological pain is there, like the fear, the aversion, it's like, yeah, this will help.
Oh yeah. If that's there, of course, yeah. You got to try to find a way to alleviate the fear or to reduce it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like caffeine too. Like I woke up, I'm tired, and like actually even as we do this podcast, I'm like in a fog because I'm like, oh dude, I did not sleep, so I'm like running on like lots of coffee and Monster right now. But it's like being a shaman, because they're like, hey, you just need this to get through this day, or like, oh, you need a little bit of Advil, or like this will help, in this.
Sure. Yeah.
But I wonder how many of us think about like drugs and all that as like an actual, like it's beyond like illicit drugs. You know what I mean? When people say like, oh, I don't do drugs. Oh, do you drink caffeine? Because that's technically a drug, or like smoke cigarettes, or like I don't know, eat sugar. Yeah, it's like this.
I mean, I don't know. Like I was surprised to understand. Like, I mean, a lot of people take, like, they feel like a slight headache or some kind of pain, they'll take Tylenol. Like that's a no. I'm saying like that's like I didn't realize how normal of a routine that is. because that's not my normal routine.
Okay.
I've
interesting. So it's just not baked in.
Yeah, it's not baked. I very rarely take tablets.
Interesting. Okay, this is an interesting thought because like, why is it that way? Like, how? Because I know people like you too who don't take medicine unless you absolutely need it. But what's the thought process there? Because for me, it's like if I feel it coming on, might as well nip it in the bud before it gets worse.
Well, because it doesn't really. I don't think I need it. I don't feel like I get headaches enough that I need it. Or I just make sure I've gotten my 8 hours. Or it's like, oh, there's a headache. Okay, why? Oh, I didn't drink enough water today. All right, like if something comes up, then it's more like, okay, I understand what was the issue.
Interesting. But then, like, so you're saying you never gotten a headache?
No, I of
like
course.
A muscle or...
No, I do get those if you work out or go to swimming or gym.
Never mind. But you're like, never mind, I won't take a...
I don't think it's not, I'd say like it's not that bothersome that I can't go around doing stuff.
Oh, interesting. So it's like almost like a last resort kind of thing for you. If it's really impeding your life.
Sure.
Huh. I wonder how many people actually feel that way too. Maybe if we like look at... Maybe it's... All right, I'm trying to think like, is it brain chemistry that makes people this way? Or is it like learned behavior?
Well, it could be both. Because I wasn't around that people were just taking tablets all the time. Or like.
I mean, me either though. Like my parents don't really do that. And They kind of warned me. They're like, "Oh, that's gonna be bad for you." But I think because like, what is the lethal dose? What is the point?
Yeah.
Or not even lethal. Just what's the harmful dose? If I take this once a day, is it going to hurt me? If I take this like twice a day, is that when it's going to hurt me? And then I work back that way. I'm like, well, what can I take before doing damage? And if it will do damage, I'll stop taking it. But I don't think crutches. I
think for me it would be like the last resort thing. Like, can I get out of bed? Can I do stuff? Then it's not that bad.
Interesting. Actually, wait, hold on. Because I'm trying to think about it in terms of the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, right? So maybe, okay, question. Is productivity more important to you than alleviating that feeling? So like, all right, if you have a headache, you're like, I'll just slow down a bit. Like, what's your thought process? You're like, are you going to slow down?
It depends. I mean, I guess where it happens, right? Yeah, probably would slow down in that sense.
Okay, cool. So that is my theory. That was my theory actually, because the reason why I do those things is because I want to keep pushing. So it's like, if my back hurts or something, or I have like allergies that day, I'm like, all right, chalk myself up full of like pills, head to jiu-jitsu, or like chalk myself up full of pills, get this work done, read this book. You know what I mean? Whereas I know a lot of people who will like, their norm is like slowing down. Whereas I want to keep the consistent pace, and maybe that's why I rely on the crutches, in order to just keep going.
Yeah,
because it's interesting when you think about like the two types of people: the people that take pills and the people that don't take pills. I've always been curious about like what's the mindset behind like not taking pills, But like I guess it does make sense if my focus is on productivity, whereas yours is like health and rejuvenation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe, like that.